Good day to everyone. We're here with my groupmates De La Cruz Iban, Kapakungan Carlo, Castro Mark Vincent, Garcia Merrill, Salamanca Melmar to discuss biomass energy, powering the future with bioorganic solutions. Ano nga ba ang biomass? Ang biomass energy ay isang nababagong pinagkukunan ng enerhiya na gawa mula sa mga material na organiko, tulad ng mga natitirang bahagi ng pananim, mga basura mula sa kagubatan, mga kahoy, dumi ng hayop at mga tirang pagkain. Ito ay nagmumula sa naka-stored na energy sa halaman na nakuha mula sa sikat ng araw sa pamamagitan ng photosynthesis. Ang enerhiyang ito ay maaaring gawing kuryente, init, o panggatong para sa mga sasakyan. Ito ay matatagalan, madaling mahanap, at nakakatulong na mabawasan ang basura at mga emisyong nakakasama sa hangin. Kaya mahalaga ito bilang bahagi ng malinis na enerhiya para sa kinabukasan. Let's proceed naman sa understanding biomass energy. Ang enerhiyang biomass ay lakas na nakukuha mula sa mga likas na material na organiko sa pamamagitan ng balanse at paulit-ulit na siklo ng carbon. Ito ay nagmumula sa mga halaman, malilit na organismo, at mga bagay na gawa mula sa mga ito. Ito ay nababagong enerhiya dahil sa mga material na ito ay kusang tumutubo muli. Ito ay hindi direktang galing sa araw. Sinisip-sip ng mga halaman ang sikat ng araw at iniimbak ito bilang energy gamit ang photosynthesis. At ang nakaimbak na energy nito ay ginagamit natin bilang enerhiyang biomass. Dito naman tayo sa next slide. What is biomass? Sa una, ang sinasabi lang ay ang biomass ay mga material na organiko na galing sa mga halaman, hayop at microorganismo. Kabilang dito ang kahoy, mga natitirang pananim, basura mula sa mga lungsod at dumi ng hayop. And sa pangalawa naman, ganito lang ang paliwanag. Ito ay isang nababagong pinagkukunan ng enerhiya. Ginagamit ng mga halaman ang sikat ng araw upang lumikha ng energy sa pamamagitan ng photosynthesis. At ang lakas na ito ay ini-store daw sa loob ng biomass bilang enerhiyang chemical. And sa pangatlo naman, ganito lang ang paliwanag. Hindi tulad ng mga gatong na galing sa lupa na nauubos. Ang biomass ay patuloy na nabubuo ng kalikasan. Dahil dito, ito ay matatagalan at hindi naubos na yaman.
The biogenic carbon cycle. The biogenic carbon cycle explains how carbon moves between plants, the atmosphere, animals, and biomass energy systems. So biomass energy is often considered carbon neutral because the carbon dioxide released during biomass conversion is balanced by the carbon dioxide absorbed by the plants during growth. So through photosynthesis, plants absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere together with the sunlight and water. Then they convert this into chemical energy stored in carbohydrates and organic compounds. This stored energy becomes the source of biomass energy. Kapag ang biomass materials tulad ng wood, crops, or agricultural waste ay sinunog or converted into fuel, carbon dioxide is released back into the atmosphere. However, unlike fossil fuels, biomass belong to a short-term carbon cycle because new plants can absorb the released carbon dioxide again while growing. On the other hand, fossil fuels such as petroleum and coal are part of the long-term carbon cycle. They were formed millions of years ago underground. Kapag sinunog ang fossil fuels, large amount of ancient carbon are released into the atmosphere, contributing to climate change and global warming. This is why biomass is considered more environmentally friendly as long as there is continuous replanting and sustainable management of biomass resources. The carbon cycle can continue in balance. And now we will discuss the types of biomass feedstock. So biomass feedstock refers to the organic materials na ginagamit para magawa ng biomass energy. So these materials usually come from plants, agricultural products, animal waste, and other biodegradable materials. So tinatawag itong renewable energy source because these resources can be naturally replaced over time. And there are three types of biomass feedstock. The first one is cultivated, waste-derived, and converted biomass. So, the first one is the cultivated biomass feedstock. Ito yung mga energy crops na intentionally grown for energy production. Examples are wood, corn, sugarcane, and giant cane grass. So, these plants absorb sunlight through photosynthesis and store it as chemical energy. Kapag ginamit or sinunog sila, the stored energy is released and converted into useful energy, like heat or electricity. Second is the waste-derived biomass feedstock. These are organic waste coming from the municipalities, industries, farms, and animals. So examples nito are food waste, agricultural residues, animal manure, and industrial organic waste. So instead na itapon lang mga ito, they can be converted into energy sources such as biogas or thermal energy. This helps reduce waste pollution while also producing energy. And the last one is the converted biomass feedstock. Ito naman yung biomass materials na dumadaan na sa processing and transformed into liquid or gaseous fuels. Examples are ethanol, methanol, biodiesel, and biogas. These fuels are commonly used in transportation, electricity generation, and industrial applications because mas convenient silang gamitin compared to raw biomass materials. So overall, ang biomass feedstock is important because it provides renewable energy while helping reduce dependence on fossil fuels and improving waste management. Now we will discuss the direct combustion for energy. So direct combustion is the oldest and most common method of converting biomass into energy. In this process, solid biomass materials are directly burned to produce heat energy. So common biomass fuels used in direct combustion include wood chips, sawdust, rice hulks, corn stalks, coconut shells, and agricultural residues. Kapag sinunog ang mga materials na ito, thermal energy or heat is produced. In biomass power plants, this heat is used to boil water and produce high-pressure steam. So the steam then drives turbine connected to generators to produce electricity. So similar siya sa operation ng coal-fired power plants, but biomass is used instead of fossil fuels. One advantage of direct combustion is that the technology is simple and widely available. It can provide reliable heat and electricity while reducing dependence on non-renewable fuels. At the same time, it also helps manage agricultural and organic waste. However, direct combustion may still produce smoke, ash, and air pollutants. Because of this, modern biomass plants now use emission control systems such as scrubbers and filters to reduce environmental impacts and improve air quality.
Biogas production by anaerobic digestion. Anaerobic digestion is a process that uses bacteria to decompose organic material in an environment completely devoid of oxygen. The process takes place in large, specialized tanks. Anaerobic digestion is a sustainable waste-to-energy process that breaks down organic matter like agricultural waste or food scraps using specialized bacteria. This occurs inside large, airtight tanks where oxygen is completely excluded. The process uses two primary products. First one is the biogas, wherein a mixture of methane and carbon dioxide. Once captured and processed, this gas is used as a renewable fuel source to generate electricity and heat. Second one is the digestate, wherein the solid or liquid material left behind after digestion. This is a high quality, nutrient rich fertilizer that can be returned to the soil. By capturing methane, a potent greenhouse gas, and repurposing waste into energy and fertilizer, anaerobic digestion creates a highly efficient, zero waste circular system. Producing liquid biofuels, biomass is converted into high energy liquid fuels like ethanol and methanol, suitable for transportation engines. This process involves milling crops, separating sugars and distilling them through alcohol fermentation to achieve high purity. Liquid biofuels are high energy alternatives to fossil fuels, primarily used in the transportation sector. The production of fuels like ethanol and methanol follows a specific industrial sequence to ensure high performance and purity. The production stage, where the milling and separation. The process begins by milling agriculture crops to break down their structure. From these, fermentable sugars are extracted and separated from the bulk biomass. Fermentation, wherein these sugars are introduced to a fermentation process where biological agents convert the sugar into alcohol and carbon dioxide. Distillation. The final stage uses the large distillation towers seen in facilities like this one. Through controlled heating and cooling, the alcohol is purified and concentrated. This multi-step refinement is essential to achieving the near 100% purity required for modern engines, providing a renewable energy source that can be integrated directly into our current transportation infrastructure.
Now, let's talk about why we're so excited about the strategic side of this technology. We like to look at it through four main pillars. To start, there's availability. Feedstock isn't something we have to drill miles for, it's all around us in the form of organic matter and waste. It's a global solution for a global problem. And then, look at the environmental impact. Pollution reduction. We're essentially taking carbon that is already in the natural cycle and putting it to work, rather than digging up old carbon from fossil fuels and adding it to the atmosphere. One of the most common questions we get is what happens when the sun goes down and the wind stops? That's where grid stability comes in. Biomass doesn't care about the weather. It provides that constant, reliable flow of the power that keeps the lights on. Ultimately, this all adds up to reduced fossil dependency. It's all about taking control of our own energy future with a source that is permanent, renewable, and locally sourced. Now, to be completely transparent, biomass isn't a silver bullet. It comes with its own set of challenges and constraints that we have to actively navigate. To start, it's expensive to get off the ground. The high initial costs for the building, the plants, and organizing the supply chain for feedstock can be major hurdle for initial investors. Then we have to look at the atmospheric risk. If the organic waste isn't processed correctly in efficient systems, it can release methane into atmosphere, which completely defeats the purpose of moving away from fossil fuels. Another constraint is that it's incredibly space intensive. Unlike a compact natural gas plant, biomass needs amounts of land for growing energy crops and managing the physical feedstock. Which bring us to our last major point, the deforestation risk. If we aren't careful, a high demand for wood pellets could lead to clear-cutting forests. That's why sustainability metrics have to be built into the project from day one.
Biomass in industry. Number 1, captive power generation. Number 2, rice mill, IC engine, and efficiency. So, punta tayo muna sa captive power generation. Ano nga ba ang captive power generation? Biomass as a power plant can generate electricity and heat directly inside the factories and mills. This means industry do not need to fully depend on the main power grid, reducing electricity costs and power interruption. So, example dito is yung mga plant or rice husk na pagka mga bio-waste or waste materials ng ating mga agriculture or kahit sa mga palengke yung mga pinagtabasan ng mga gulay is pwedeng gamiting pwedeng gawing fuel para makagamit ng electricity or pwedeng gawing panggatong para makagawa ng heat at electricity. Ito yung nag-reduce siya ng electricity cost saka ng efficiency dahil nga hindi na nakarely sa power grid or sa ating power distribution company. So pagka nawalan ng kuryente, tuloy pa rin naman yung operation nila. Lalo na sa mga sensitivity na company na nakarelate talaga sa electricity. So number 2, use agricultural waste. Industries use rice mill can use waste material like rice husk as fuel source for production. Instead of throwing away agricultural waste, it's converted to useful energy, reducing waste and fuel expenses. So, ang example nito is dryer, yung nagpampatuyo ng palay. So, gumagamit sila ng rice husk or ipa para gawing fuel source para magpatuyo ng palay. So, imbis na itatapon nila or maging waste materials, na-convert ito sa isang heat energy o useful energy at nakakababa din ito ng capital nila or fuel expenses. So number 2, IC engine. Biomass can be converted into producer gas, which is clean and cool before used in fuel IC engine. This provides an alternative energy source instead of diesel or fuel source. So, ito naman is ginagamit siyang producer gas, cooled, or para pwede natin sabihin na sa mga tangke or yung ating nasa pagluto natin na ginagamit. So, number 4, higher energy efficiency. Biomass system placed near factories reduce transmission loss because energy is produced where it's used. This makes power generation more efficiency, helps industry save energy and money. So, ito naman, madalas dito, parang katulad sa example kanina, yung dryer. So, ipa yung gamit nila na fuel source. Dahil nga dryer siya, so, may malapit na rice mill sa dryer. So, yung Kung mapoproduce na ipa nung rice mill, so pwede na ulit gamitin sa dryer. So, cycle lang siya. So, yung ating transmission loss, ito yung pagdadrive ng pagkuha ng ipa. So, malapit lang. So, hindi na siya gagastos ng para kunin yung ipa dun sa rice mill. Parang katulad din to sa mga ibang power plant. So, pagka may waste sila, nandun lang din yung biomass. So, malapit lang din yung kukuhanan ng fuel. Number 5. Renewable and environmentally friendly. Biomass come from organic materials like crop residue, wood waste, and plant materials. So, it reduces renewable resource. It also reduces waste, lower dependence on fossil fuel. So, biomass is, alam naman natin na galing siya sa mga waste materials na ginagamit natin pang araw-araw, tulad ng rice residue or husk, wood waste, o sa mga ating mga pinagtabasan ng kahoy pagkagagamit ng furniture. So, syempre, pagka natabas siya or durug-durug na, hindi na siya magagamit. So, tinatapon na lang siya. And plant materials sa mga palengke. So, yung food residue, yung wood waste na to, pwedeng gawing panggatong. Crop residue, pwedeng gamitin pwede natin gamitin ding pantaba or pwedeng patuyuin at maging panggatong. So, yung imbis na mabubulok na lang sa lupa, pwede natin magamit bilang fuel source. And at pagka ginamit natin siyang fuel source, so mababa rin yung pag-dependence natin sa fossil fuel na nakaka-apekto sa ating environment. So, global feed strategy. So, alamin naman natin ang iba't ibang ginagamit na fuel, biofuel, biomass na ginagamit ng ating mga ibang country, tulad ng USA, Brazil, Indonesia, and India. So, una natin yung USA. USA, bioethanol from corn and soybean. United States focus on producing bioethanol fuel mainly from corn and soybean. These crops are converted into fuel for transportation, helping reduce dependence on gasoline and fossil fuel. So, sunod naman, Brazil, sugarcane for energy independence. Brazil uses sugarcane to produce biofuel, especially ethanol. Since sugarcane is abundant there, the country uses to reduce fuel import and improve energy independence. So, number 3, Indonesia. Biodiesel from palm oil waste. Indonesia produces biodiesel by using palm oil waste and residue. Instead of wasting byproduct palm oil production, they are converted into renewable energy. So, number 4 naman, India. Rural electrification using agricultural waste. India uses sugarcane waste and rice husks to generate electricity, especially in rural area. This provides energy to communities while making use of agricultural waste. So, parang katulad din sa atin tong India. So, rice husk yung ginagamit niya. So, ito ginagamit yung rice husk panggatong. Papakuluan yung tubig. Then, tubig magiging gas or air. Then, papaikutin yung turbine. So, makakagawa siya ng energy. Mapunta tayo sa overall advantage of global feed strategy. Developed country uses locally available biomass materials. Example ng ginagamit nila is rice husk, corn stalk, sugarcane waste, and palm residue to create energy. This reduce waste, lower fossil fuel use, support local industry, improve energy security without affecting food supply when residue are used properly. So, ang ang pagkakamukha ng bawat country sa paggamit ng feedstock strategy or biomass is ginagawa or ginagamit nila yung yung malapit or yung abundant dun sa country na yun para yung waste na napoproduce nila is nababawasan or minsan nawawala at ma-convert ito sa useful energy.